Welcome back to more Symphogear. Do you have family issues? Because they're probably not quite like what we're seeing here. And if they are, well, I'm really sorry for you. But a father running away, abandoning his family, he taking on the brunt of all of the ire of random townsfolk around for some reason. Yeah, I can understand why she took a runner as soon as she saw him. Not exactly going to be a friendly reunion. And yes, thanks to some comments, I was now aware that I had my understanding of what happened before and my memory of it. Well, it wasn't that great. Thinking that the family members were killed and that's why she was vilified. No, it's dumber than that. She was vilified and then he just couldn't deal with it and left. Okay. But as we saw in the first interaction of the character, he's not past just abandoning children in need, so it makes sense. But also, now that one doll is down, whether or not it comes back, respawns or not, there's still plenty more. And I don't think it's going to be easy going. So, now with a full boost of their power, what are we going to see? I'm eager to find out. Hopefully you are as well. So strap in, get a drink. Let's listen to the music in Symphogear. After everything that we've seen them go through, a family affair issue of trying to come to grips with everything that happened in the past, and a flaky father. Not a big battle I expected to see the character right at this moment. Much like always, put on a smile and a happy face. Try not to make anyone around you feel worried. But her initial reaction of just running away from the situation belies her true feelings. Also, it's kind of weird because, well, different point, but having that village who sacrificed that father, that alchemist, it's not a vengeance or anything that can actually be taken, considering it's hundreds of years in the past. Times, people, and moralities have changed dramatically since then. You'd hope. So, I know Carol's forgotten everything, and that's if she's not just a pile of green ash at the minute. I wonder if that would actually change anything with what might come up. It would be incredibly disappointing if it is the main antagonist of this arc is taken out halfway through the series by her own hand. I mean, he still has his appetite. Did she remember it? I wonder why it looked a little like her. I mean, or at least he's acknowledging it. And yet thought that they can just get on as normal without him. Exactly. If he couldn't deal with it, what about the rest of them? I mean, they are somewhat similar. You know, just hope for the best. Sometimes things will work, but the fact that he's not apologizing for anything that happened and just talking about, well, I just hoped it would work out. Don't tell me you is expecting her to pay. But, you know, can't let food go to waste. Finish those sandwiches. They are really piling on the whole deadbeat status onto him, aren't they? Is he going to have to redeem himself, have a quality that... Oh, where's the other one gone? But we don't want to have... Okay, I didn't think about the whole... We'll just, you know, scuttle everything so they can't take it. And now they have the entirety of the Earth, and where it's having everywhere where the Earth is the most susceptible to attack and disassemblement. Having the entire world be at stake once again. We've seen them just appear in various countries at a moment's notice. And if you didn't want bitter coffee as what she chose, maybe don't make it one of your selections while trying to game the system and get more than you need. So, well, at least there's someone beside her that can make up for the poor choices in her life. And of course they can't enjoy their drinks before an outbreak of noise starts attacking again. But once again, going after the infrastructure, going for power lines, energy reactors and like before. Not deviating from that plan much, are they? Backup is on its way. Yeah, she is going through so much. The fight ahead of her is not going to be the first thing on her mind. Yes, her constant shaking. There's no need to take it out on them, no matter how upset she may be. We all have moments where we lash out. There is a solution I can think of that uses her fists as well in what she's worrying about. Might not be for the best in the long term. But the unease in her heart and the wariness of her soul is almost definitely going to affect her. Especially if she has to use the Dying Slave Ignite stuff. Also, are the words of her song also going to be a reflection of her current... Okay. What's this that she's setting up there? She may not be ready to play with them, but Hibiki's not one to wait around. I've always said, you know, don't wait for them to monologue and do something. Take action first. Seems as though she is taking that message to heart. But she is enjoying this fight, considering Hibiki is quite straightforward about it. And Hibiki is going to cause more damage to the surrounding area than the doll does in the first place. And in this moment, Hibiki herself taking responsibility and blame, thinking that everything that happened was truly her fault. They weren't in the wrong for blaming her. Self-doubt is insidious. She won't be able to hold out forever, though. She's going to be slowly pushed back. So you're just going to sit there and watch it happen? I mean, good to know, but you're going to make those words into actions? I see. She is now looking to join the ranks of those that have used this mode. And if she was just playing before, they're definitely going to need something to... Oh, no, just out. Laters. Well, I guess she had the right idea, just didn't have the opportunity to stand up and do something. Just have a quick look at where they were standing. What's left on the monitor? Yeah, her physical health is fine. The underlying traumas and stresses, that's tearing her apart. And the burden that is upon Hibiki at the minute, leaking out and affecting all of the others. It could be so easy for them to admit wrongdoings and make up with one another. However, his true actions foretell his actual personality, running away from everything. Yeah. It's not until you actually confront it that you don't realize just how much that people in the past have really messed you up. I mean, if... Oh, it's because they forced each other to talk to you again, go for that cafe meal date thing. Anyway. But yeah, if she didn't go and talk to him, there'd be that unease and needing closure anyway, so one way or another it needed to be handled. Are these tailored to them? So yeah, no use of it willy-nilly, otherwise there won't be of any use in any future battles. True, they haven't really had much of a normal upbringing, family life, well, anything really. Even their school life is very halted in quite sporadic in what they can actually achieve. Huh. So it's all for information gathering. And okay, so while it seems as though one of them is permanently out, there does seem to be a little vivification chamber back there. Have free time. What could go wrong? Both for them and the world at large. And they're both so proud in what they believe is true. They're overlooking each other. Well, and now they get the chance that they were wanting back in the tunnel. I mean, the number of fights they've been through together, the enemies that they fought, the strain and stress on themselves, and, you know, the potential loss of themselves with the fitting soul and whatnot, you'd think there'd be a little past just, you think I'm a burden. But, I mean, that's not the words she used. I mean, we didn't really need the excessive cat's cradle and the like in her transformation sequence, but has she actually used these yo-yo things much in the fights, or was it mostly relying on her hair saws? So while they're out attacking there, there's nowhere for them to hide if there's such distractions keeping the team at bay. And until they can work together, they aren't putting out nearly as much as of their battle power as they could. But it is kind of neat to see all of these autoscorer dolls constantly go out and then retreat when they've got the obvious victory, just to allow each of them to have a little more experience, a little more battle knowledge, power up a little more. I mean, how many times have they saved each other? Just, I mean, that's all it needs. You don't need to sulk and pout. Oh, you're not letting me do anything. But the strain that it was putting on her body, how much she was willing to sacrifice to save the rest of them. I mean, nice of the autoscorer to allow them to have this revelation. We can't let it end here. I mean, they're somewhat main characters, of course they can't. I do like the backing kind of chant. I don't even know what you'd call it. It's not quite orchestral, but that kind of swell. Is it like what we've seen before? They can help one another through it by relying on one another. They can lift each other up. Oh. That's rather streamlined. When did this one get that change as well? Was that just a scene where I was busy thinking and I missed it? Infinite Swords. And I've said it before, you know, whenever we get a duet with these characters, having them juxtaposed against each other and also combining their lyrics and song. I see. You know, working together, overcoming what each one individually can achieve. Same kind of creepiness that we saw in the first one. They did seem far too excited about being the center of attention there when they help them get to the next stage in their development. Well, they've come to an understanding, you know. Everyone cares about them just as they care for the others. They're harsh on them because they don't want to see them hurt. They each have grown a lot more from the first time that we've seen them, not only in their merits and wants, but their outlook of the world itself. The fact it's labelled as hypocrisy, but it's just a different outlook and worldview. While wanting to achieve the same goals, protect those that you care about. What could really punctuate that point other than the glistening water like that? The cogs turning once more. Ah. Welcome back. A blaze of glory. And the fact that these two have been taken out, is that also part of the plan there? Ah. I see, she's gaining intel through that, and that's why she allowed them to get away and live amongst them. It'd be daft if they didn't have some sort of bug or control or spy piece to be able to see the world from that point of view. You'd be giving away precious intel. I will say I'm slightly disappointed, unless it's just my episode bugging out because it has been doing that. I don't know if you've noticed, there's been a few jump cuts and whatnot that I've had to replay parts and try and sync it up. I hope it's not too out of the way. So, yeah, I hope well, if it was just my episode bugging out, you'd have to let me know, please. If it's not, then I'm slightly disappointed in what they did with Mika. Unlike the water one, which we actually saw be taken down, be destroyed, have that moment of twisting, convulsing, and then pff. This one was just taken out of the way easily. You know, we got the final big hurrah, and then cut to show that she's destroyed without showing it. even though she kind of potentially deserved it more than the others. But how does Carol now feel about having half of her combat force being taken out? Was that always the plan? I do like Symphogear. I've said it before, it's really raised in my estimation since the first season, which was a little underplayed, underbaked in my kind of estimation memory of it, at least. Still good, just didn't capture my attention quite like the rest of them have. Even though the core principle of it all is pretty much the same. But now that I'm paying a little more attention to all of the music, the subtle changes in animation and styles, it is quite decent. As far as antagonists go, I think I preferred back when Marie and the others were two separate groups of gear users at each other's throats, rather than this mostly just robots, essentially. There's no huge threat behind it or whatever, but it does mean that they can be taken out and feel the full force of vengeance and justice of the gear users, which is a nice departure from how it usually is. But how many times are we going to circle the same talking points? I want to protect you as well. And now we can't get along because you won't let me protect you. For this is a lesson they learned before. Several times before, in various manners and respects. But it was nice and refreshing to see them have that issue, bring it up, and somewhat overcome it in the same episode. It was nice, concise, done, sorted, moving on. Now we can focus more on Hibiki, her father, and the pressures that puts on the rest of them. Now, I didn't come from a home that has had many troubles throughout the years, so I can't put myself in her shoes. But having a family member duck out, disappear, leave you stranded, and then suddenly want to be part of your life again, be like, no, you know what? All of that was in the past. Let's put it behind us. Let's get on like we used to. Doesn't work like that, mate. You need to put in a little effort, at least. Say that you feel bad about what happened, how things transpired. That you wouldn't just run off again. But no, he's been focusing on what would be nice. Oh, I just thought, if we could be a family again, that would be swell, wouldn't it? Is he one to be able to take personal accountability for his actions? Are we just seeing the very worst of his character to have that moment of realization where he does something to redeem himself? Or are they just painting the picture of, yeah, this dude is a scumbag? I kind of hope with Symphogear it's the former. Because as much as some of the characters are very directed in their tropes and wants and whatever, they're not one-dimensional. They are somewhat nuanced. And with that in mind, each and every one of us grows from what we've experienced. If you've managed to have moments of the darkest despair where things do not seem to go your way, where you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and yet you've made it out the other side, well, first off, well fucking done. Second, you can use those experiences to grow further in the future, to know what you would do differently, to have that strength of knowledge, it can work out. And also realise that there's people out there who are struggling in their own right. Maybe you can use your experiences to help others. I could have really used that experience and wisdom about 8 years ago. But now all of them have had the chance to click, stab, grr, and then overcome it. How can they all buddy up and use that in one fell swoop? Are we going to see the full gang get together in their new form to fight back against their toughest opponent yet? Or is it going to be these small skirmishes where you've got groups of one or two of them? Both are good, some more theatrically or cinematically appealing than others. But we're going to be eating well no matter which way it goes. So if you've enjoyed this episode, if I have talked bollocks for the past 5 minutes, and you've made it this far at least, congratulations. If you want to make sure not to miss out future episodes, consider subscribing to the channel. Maybe leave a like and a comment down below to help the algorithm know there's something of value here. It has screwed me for so long. Get some rest though, because I hope to see you for the next one. Granted, it was Miku's idea for them to get together and have a meeting in a coffee shop, in a family restaurant or whatever. But did he really expect not to pay for that meeting? I saw you on TV, therefore you must be doing well.